I'm Tash. I'm a mat Pilates and reformer instructor, and today we're going to take you through a beginner's Pilates class and how we can progress that over the next 4 weeks.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I've dabbled in Pilates for a while now. I found from a sporting perspective, it definitely assists with my performance, helps me stay away from injury and keep my core nice and strong. The reason why I want to demo today is because I want to show that Pilates is accessible to absolutely everyone. I'm not a pro with Pilates. I maybe do it once, maybe twice a week at a push. So I'm gonna learn just as much from today's workout as you will.
So Pilates used to be called contrology, meaning it's all about control. We're working on our core today, which is one of the most important things in Pilates. The core is the rectus abdominis, the deeper muscles, which is the transverse abdominis, and we've got our internal, external obliques on the side to help stabilize us. So when we talk about core, those are the muscles that we mean. So Tom, when you're ready, lying down on your back. All right, so before we get started, we're gonna talk a little bit about our alignment and our breath. So firstly, our breath. We start by inhaling through our nose. We exhale through our mouth, like you're blowing out a candle. Lovely, and that's the breath pattern we follow throughout the class. When we inhale, we wanna think about the ribs opening to either side rather than up and lifting those shoulders. We wanna open it to the sides, inhale through the nose. As we exhale, we're thinking about scooping that belly button in and up like a little fish hook on that exhale. So we're really engaging all those core muscles. So that's the breath pattern that we're using. In terms of alignment, we want to make sure that we have a neutral hip, our neutral pelvis. So make a little diamond shape with your hands here, thumbs touching, fingers together, placing it on your pubic bone, a little bit lower, lovely. Now imagine I've dropped a marble just in the middle. Now I want you to move that marble around, so tilting that pelvis and then tucking that pelvis in. So going between these two motions, imagine that marble just going from side to side. So this is working on that neutral spine. We're tucking and we're tilting. Amazing. And when you're ready, can you find that neutral position where that marble stays in the center? That is your neutral alignment. We want to think about that lovely long spine, shoulders down away from the ears. From here, we're going to interlace our fingers and make a little basket for our head, placing our head underneath. Now with this position, what we don't want is to use those hands to yank the head up. They're just there to support the head. Let's lift the elbows just an inch off the floor so that we can see them in our peripherals. Amazing. We're starting with our curl up today to really get those abdominals engaged. So we inhale to prepare. On that exhale, I want you to think about scooping that belly button in, imprinting that spine. Lovely. So that's just our preparation. We inhale again through the nose. On that next exhale, I want you to slowly lift your head and shoulders, scooping that belly button in, looking in between your knees, and slowly lower back down on that inhale. Lovely work. Lovely. Inhale to prepare. We exhale, coming back up. Scooping that belly button, lovely. And inhale to return back down. Keeping that lovely long spine. Good. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to curl back up. It might take some time to get that breath pattern into the body. So if you need to, you can take a full breath at the bottom just to reset and then join back in when you feel ready. So this is your curl up. We'll be doing this for about 6 more reps just to really fire up that core. Curling up, looking in between the knees, gorgeous. Really scooping that belly button in. What we don't want is the doming of the abdominals. Or scooping, connecting that navel to our spine as we come up. Lovely. Have one more here, and then you can rest, Tom. One more. Exhale. Inhale, return down. That is your curl up. All right, so our next exercise is our toe taps. So from here, keeping that lovely neutral spine, let's bring those feet up into our tabletop position. Our knees are in line with our hips. Shins are parallel with the ceiling. Lovely. Hands are just planted down by either side. Taking a deep breath in. As we exhale, keeping that lovely angle of the knees, I want you to bring one foot down, tapping the toe to the floor. Lovely. And then slowly returning back up. So we're hinging from the hips rather than bending that knee. Other side, when you're ready, exhale down. Inhale to return it back up, still scooping that belly button in. Gorgeous. So we're keeping that lovely angle of the knees. We're not extending the leg and we're not bending from that knee. Gorgeous. So we start to really engage those lower abdominals a little bit more. Are we feeling it? Oh yeah. One more. And that is your week 1 toe taps. All right, so our next exercise is gonna be our shoulder bridges. So from here, still in our supine position, feet are hip width apart. We're taking a deep breath in to prepare. On that exhale, I want you to tuck that pelvis in, driving through your heels. Slowly start to lift your hips up off the mat. Lovely, vertebra by vertebra, so that our knees, hips, and shoulders make one lovely long line. From the top, we exhale. We slowly, from the top of the spine, roll down vertebra by vertebra, all the way back down. So we're really articulating through that spine. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, we lift the hips, curving through that spine. So we're working on that articulation, lovely long line of the body. Inhale to prepare. And then from the top of the spine, vertebra by vertebra, slowly rolling back down. Lovely work. And that is your shoulder bridge. All right, so we're coming into our bird dog. We're coming into our 4-point kneeling. So coming onto your hands and onto your knees, let's make sure those shoulders are in line with our wrists, our hips are in line with our knees. Lovely. Now what we did earlier, lying down with that pelvis tuck and tilt, can we just do a few more of those? So tuck that pelvis in, lovely. And then arch that back, drop the belly. Just a few cat-cows, just to really work on that articulation of the spine. Amazing. When you're ready, can we find that lovely neutral line? Beautiful. So in that center. Lovely. Good. From here, we're slowly working on stabilizing those obliques. Can we slowly extend one arm out on that exhale? Extending one arm out. Lovely. And then slowly bringing it back down. And let's take the opposite leg this time and slowly extend that leg out on that exhale. Inhale to return it back down. Other arm this time. Exhale. We slowly extend it forward. Back down. Opposite leg. This is all about maintaining that hip stability. So what we don't want is any shaking of the body, keeping everything nice and still. And at the same time, we also want to think about pushing away from the mat so that we don't start to sink into our shoulders here. Our lovely long spine, gorgeous. This little top bone, we can lift that slightly. Gorgeous. And that is your bird dog week 1. All right, so we are now in week 2. We are going to start with our curl-ups, but we're going to progress that a little bit more. So let's lie down on our backs. Feet are planted into the mat, knees are bent. Amazing. Hands are coming behind the head. We're making that little basket. Lift the elbows just an inch so that we can see it in our peripherals. Again, let's just take one full breath just to get that breathing. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, scooping that belly button in. Exhale through the mouth. Lovely. Next time we inhale to prepare. We exhale, we lift the head and shoulders up. This time we extend the arms out to either side of our knees, bringing the arms back behind your head as we lower back down. Lovely. Good. Exhale, we slowly come back up. Extend those arms to either side, shoulders down, bring the hands back and rolling back down. Little pointers to be aware of. When we come up, we want to make sure we don't lift those shoulders up with the arms. Keep that lovely gap between our ears and our shoulders. Exhale, still scooping that belly button in to slowly return back down. We inhale to prepare. We exhale, scoop it up, extend the arms, bring the arms back, and slowly return back down. All right, so we are now on our toe taps, but again, we're gonna progress that a little bit further. So let's lift those feet up into our tabletop position. Hands are just down by either side. Last week, we kept that bend of the knee as we hinge down. This time, as we hinge from the hip, can we extend that leg all the way out, tap the foot down, and slowly return it back. Lovely. Exhale, we extend the leg. Inhale, we return. We're still closing that rib cage, scooping that belly button in. Yes. Lovely. Making sure we always come back into that tabletop to return. Knees are in line with the hips. Gorgeous. Take your time with these. The slower you go, the more you're gonna feel this. With Pilates, it's never about momentum. We just wanna take our time and find that control. And that's it. All right, so we are now on our shoulder bridges, but we're gonna add a little bit of a lift here. So when you're ready, we inhale to prepare. On that exhale, we tuck that pelvis in, slowly lift the hips vertebra by vertebra. So again, our knees, hips, and shoulders are in one lovely line. From here, let's lift one foot off the mat, slightly, good. And then slowly bring it down, keeping that level of the hips. Other leg comes up this time. Lovely. We lower that leg back down. And from here, we roll from the top of the spine, vertebra by vertebra, all the way back down. Amazing. We're gonna do that a few more times. And again, we're really working on those stabilizing muscles to keep our hips from swaying side to side. From the top, we lift one foot up. Gorgeous. Slowly lower it back down. Other side. Yes. Back back down, and we roll down through the spine. And that is your week 2 shoulder bridge. Okay, so we are now on our bird dog. So we're coming into our 4-point kneeling, hands down, and we're on our knees, shoulders in line with our wrists, hips in line with our knees. And again, we're finding that lovely neutral spine. From here, last week we extended one arm and the opposite leg. This time we're gonna do it together. We're combining it. So we inhale to prepare. On that exhale, can we take one arm, opposite leg, extend it out just to shoulder height and hip height, and then slowly bring it back down to the mat. Lovely, bring that knee down, other side. When you're ready, we exhale, extend the opposite arm, opposite leg out into one lovely long line, and then inhale to return. I should be able to plant my coffee here and it wouldn't spill. Gorgeous. We're bringing that bicep all the way to the ear, lowering it back down. We're still thinking about lifting the abdominals, scooping the belly button in to meet with the spine in the center. Yes. One more. So this is really great for those stabilizers, those obliques on our sides. And you're done. Okay, so we are now on week 3. We're gonna start to progress everything even more. So we're lying back down on our backs. We're starting with those curl ups, but this time we're gonna change the leg position. We're gonna lift the feet up into our tabletop position so those knees are in line with our hips, shins are parallel with the ceiling. Hands come behind the head. We lift those elbows just an inch so that we can see it in our peripherals. Inhale to prepare. On that exhale, we lift the head and shoulders, scooping that belly button in. We extend the arms out to either side, bringing it back in, and slowly return back down. Lovely. So we're adding that little bit of intensity with those legs in that tabletop. Exhale to lift up, extend those arms, shoulders down, away from the ears, return the arms, slowly lower back down. Inhale to prepare. Last one. Scooping that belly button in as you lift your head and shoulders, extend the arms, bring the arms back, and slowly return back down. That's your curl up. All right, so now we're coming back into those toe taps. So when you're ready, we bring those feet back into our tabletop position. Last week, we did it single leg. This time, we're gonna try both legs at the same time. So we inhale to prepare. I really want you to think about imprinting that spine flat onto that mat. When you're ready, on that exhale, we extend those legs, hinging from the hips, tap the feet down to the mat, and then slowly inhale to return. So we're really using those full abdominals. What we want to be careful of is the rib cage starting to flare open. So we want to close that rib cage, scoop that belly button in as we tap it down and bring it back up. This can be quite a struggle. So if it's feeling a little bit too much, go back to single leg and just work on extending that leg out a little bit further. And that is it for your toe taps. All right, so now we are on our shoulder bridges. So we've done it with 2 legs together and by lifting one leg up. This time we're gonna work that single leg. So we're lifting up our left leg into our tabletop position. Lovely. We might need to slightly adjust if we need to, but we're still keeping that lovely long spine, neutral hips. Inhaling through our nose. On that exhale, we slowly lift the hips, start to roll up vertebra by vertebra, working that single leg at the top, hold it here. And then when you're ready, roll down through that spine. So we're really, again, working on those stabilizers here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, driving through that heel, rolling up, squeezing those glutes as we lift up and roll back down. Amazing. So we can do about 5 to 6 on one leg and then swap over and do the same on the other leg. All right, so now we're doing our bird dog. Last week we worked on extending opposite arm, opposite leg. This time we're gonna work one side for a little bit longer. So again, finding that lovely neutral line, taking that deep breath in to prepare. When you're ready, we extend one leg, opposite arm. We're holding it here, keeping the leg and arm extended. Can we slowly drop them down to the mat? And then inhale to slowly return back up. Exhale down, slowly lifting it back up, bringing that bicep to the ear, extending the legs out. Gorgeous. Here again, we're really working on those stabilizers. Another thing to think about, that arm that's supporting us, we want to make sure it's not locked in position. We have a soft bend in that arm so that we're really working that tricep as well. One more here. All right, so once you've done about 8 to 10 on one side, take a little rest, roll out the wrist if you need to, and then repeat the same thing on the other side. And that is your week 3 complete. All right, welcome to your final week. Woohoo! We're on our curl ups, but now we're gonna try something a little bit different. You might have heard of the Pilates 100. We're gonna attempt that today. So when you're ready, we're bringing those feet into our tabletop position. We're slowly curling that head and shoulders off the mat on that exhale. Arms are gonna come down by either side, Palms are facing down towards the mat. They're just an inch off the floor. From here, we'll start to pump those arms down, inhaling for 5 pumps, exhaling for 5 pumps. We inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still thinking about scooping that belly button in. If this is feeling a little bit too challenging, you can bring your feet back down onto the floor as well, both feet together if you need to. Otherwise, you can bring those legs back up into your tabletop. You have got a third option. Bring them back into tabletop for me. If you're feeling spicy and you want a challenge, we can extend those legs out to a 45-degree angle and keep pulsing. Amazing. Can we bring those legs a little bit lower? Yeah, so we're really scooping those abdominals in. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. One more set. Inhale. 5, last one, 1, 2, 3, and return back in. That core should now be on fire, which is amazing. All right, so we're now gonna do our toe taps, but we're gonna add a curl up to really get that core fired up. So when you're ready, let's bring those feet back into our tabletop position. We're taking our hands behind our head, lift those elbows an inch. Lovely. From here, we take a deep breath in to prepare. Lovely. When you're ready, on that exhale, I want you to drop those knees down. As you come back up, we add that curl up, bringing the knees and head up. Lovely. Inhale, return down. Gorgeous. Exhale, we lift back up, scooping that belly button in. Inhale, return back down. Exhale through your mouth as you come back up. Yes. So that scooping motion is really important here so we don't get any doming of the abdominals. Last one. And slowly return. All right, so now we are on our shoulder bridges. Last week we did it with single leg. We're gonna add on a little bit more from there. So let's lift up our left foot into that tabletop position. Lovely. We inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we tuck that pelvis in, driving through that heel. We lift up nice and high. Let's extend that top leg. We flex that heel, slowly bring that leg down to meet the other knee. Point the toes, slowly return back up. Lovely. Give me 2 more here. We flex. And then point on the way up. We're keeping those hips in line so one doesn't start to drop. We keep it in line, scooping that belly button in. And when you're ready, you can slowly return back down. All right, so our final exercise is our bird dog variation. So we're coming back into that 4-point kneeling, shoulders in line with the wrists, hips in line with the knees, lovely neutral spine. Last week, we worked on extending opposite arm, opposite leg, lowering and lifting. We're gonna add on from there. So when you're ready, we inhale to prepare, scooping that belly button to meet the spine. Exhale, we extend that arm and leg out. Lovely. When you're ready, this time we're moving away from that midline, opening the leg, opening the arms to the side. Exhale to come back in. A little bit slower if we can. We press to close back into the middle. Lovely. So I want you to imagine that your fingers all the way through your body makes a lovely line to your toes. So what we don't want is the arm to come further out than the leg. We keep it in that lovely line, working on those stabilizers, back in and return back down. You can take a little child's pose just to rest in between if you need to. And that is your week 4 done. And that is the end of our 4-week Pilates program. As we said earlier, it is a lot of core stability work. And let's ask Tom, how are you feeling after that?
So the reason why I wanted to take part in today is because technically I'm not going to be the best on the mat. So especially if you're new to the Pilates game, it goes to show that some of my form and techniques are yet to be desired, but it's something that I'm still working on and you guys at home will be as well. So fundamentally, listen to the coaching points that Tasha's delivered today. I think there's a lot of good points, especially about the breathing. It's so easy to get so centered and focused on the movement, forgetting about the basics. I always find myself sometimes holding my breath, maybe breathing out too much. So important to concentrate on the breath and slowly progress the movements as and when you feel ready to. But yeah, I had a great time.
Yay.